Coming up live at 7.
The road to Siena Fest starts tomorrow. A spot to open at Siena Fest is on the line with musical mayhem.
And this past weekend, Siena's Black Student Union hosted their annual expose. We'll show you the sights and sounds from this year's event.
Plus, housing continues to be a pressing issue on campus. SCTV's Gianni Barone finds out how the decisions are made.
Plus, spring has sprung here at Siena. Find out what the Garden Club is doing to kick off the plant growing season.
Also, clowns on campus, find out how Stage 3 did on their performance of Clown Bar.
And our very own Ashlyn Hunter takes us to the Fleet Special Collections Library here on campus. SCTV Live at 7 begins right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Joey DePretta.
And I'm Erin Pendergast.
With Siena Fest on the horizon, Siena's Student Events Board is looking for a student opener for the concert.
This Thursday is Siena's annual Musical Mayhem. The competition will feature many talented student artists and groups. All are hoping to perform in front of the Siena Fest crowd. The event will take place in SSU 240 at 8 p.m. and will have free food. Don't miss it.
Siena's Black Student Union hosted their annual expose Saturday night.
The Expose is a multicultural talent show that highlights diversity on campus.
This year's event featured poetry, music, and various dance groups. The Expose also reminded students about the importance of events like this.
We understand that there's some room for growth in that particular area with diversity, so I think it shows that Siena is willing to still celebrate it and kind of help emphasize and help people learn about new cultures, and I feel like that's what we see here. Every single event we do, Fall Fusion and Expose, every single time they're absolutely filled, and we kind of saw that again tonight.
The Black Student Union will continue to host their expose as the crowd continues to turn out year after year.
Siena College Stage 3 performed Clown Bar in Foy Hall this past weekend.
Stage 3 showcased a hilariously twisted performance that combines the ridiculous world of clowns with the gritty world of crime noir. The New York Times described the script as unabashedly silly but also shrewd. Attendees were provided with drinks, snacks, and a clown nose as well.
Since 1999, the Standish Library has been an essential part of the academic success here at Siena College.
However, the library has a hidden gem that often goes overlooked. Our very own Ashlyn Hunter tells us more about the Fleet Special Collections Center.
Outside the Standish Library, a place no doubt familiar to students here at Siena. Still, one unassuming room on the second floor has much to be discovered. The Fleet Special Collections Center, right across from the stairwell on the second floor of the library, is home to hundreds of different books, documents, and other materials that require special care. The Fleet Special Collections room is open to anyone on campus. Still, most students have no idea it exists unless they visited it on a class outing. SCTV sat down with Special Collections librarian Sean Conley to see how this unique fixture fits into the Siena campus community.
I think it means an awful lot. One of the things that Siena really prides itself on is being a teaching institution. And I really see Special Collections as being another teaching tool.
The collection contains a handwritten papal document from the 13th century, a recreation of Mary Shelley's original Frankenstein manuscript, and even saintly relics. During our time visiting the Special Collections room, librarian Sean Conley was gracious enough to walk us through some of the collection's most prized documents.
This is a handwritten prayer book. It comes from the Tuscany region of Italy, and it was presented to us by the Vatican when the friary was first dedicated back in 1950. And you can see the inscription on the outer cover here. And though the Vatican nor Siena can ever actually prove it, there is a better than average chance that this breviary may have actually been owned by St. Bernardine, who was one of the patron saints of the college.
This may seem like an SCTV exclusive, but like I said before, any Siena student is welcome to view the items in the collection. All they have to do is make an appointment on the Special Collections page of the library website. That's all for me here. Back to Joey and Erin in the studio.
Thanks, Ashlyn. The Senior Thea Bowman Center for Women held a women-owned business fair. The event gave students an opportunity to relax, enjoy some retail shopping, and make new contacts.
The business fair was started by senior Emma Schneizek. The fair was designed to connect campus with the local community. Siena welcomed nearby female entrepreneurs to network with and act as sources of inspiration for Saints. There were over 30 vendors in the Maloney Great Room. Attendees also took part in some jewelry and cosmetic shopping.
Last night, the Plasman Hall CA staff held their big building-wide event in the Plasman Lounge.
Saints were treated to a night of music, mocktails, and alcohol education. There was food for all those in attendance, and drinks were first come, first served, while learning more about alcohol use and consumption. Students took part in several fun games and activities.
Yesterday, the Damietta Cross-Cultural Center hosted Cafe Damietta Family Edition.
This event consisted of Siena students starting a conversation about how family dynamics affect values, beliefs, and personal growth. This event was created to help students navigate their identities. Are you worried about housing on campus?
SCTV's Gianni Barone spoke with the people who make the important decisions.
Securing housing for Siena students can be stressful, but the Siena housing staff want to ease your fears as we enter the housing selection process. Siena students have either just started or are about to start choosing their housing for the upcoming year. With priority numbers assigned, many are feeling the pressure to find the right dorm or townhouse, which can be overwhelming. Siena's priority system has organized the procedure and consolidated it into a 1-month period compared to the previous 2-month process, says resident director Danielle Castellano. The wide variety of dorm and townhouse options each have their own perks and downfalls. With new renovations being done along with other factors like finding roommates, the process can be daunting. SCTV spoke with Siena's Director of Community Living, Amelia Hoffman, and Resident Director of Hennepin and Ryan Hall, Danielle Castellano, about their tools to help ease these anxieties.
I understand it can be a really stressful time when it comes to thinking about the future and where you're going to live. So we host everything from regular information sessions to we have a really active social media campaign that pushes out notifications to students, primarily via Instagram. We also have a housing selection website that is full of a lot of really great resources.
If you're feeling confused or stressed about housing, the best person to talk to would be your CA and your residence directors. We know how to do the process. We're happy to connect you with some students that may be looking for roommates or also just looking for ways to get involved on campus.
This week, other upperclassmen dorms will be chosen and more hard decisions will be made. Siena housing staff encourages students to come to them with any questions you may have. Reporting live for SCTV, I'm Giancarlo Barone. Back to you.
Thanks, Gianni. The Siena International Students Association will be going on a trip to New York City.
The trip will be held on April 17th, and students will have the advantage to travel to landmarks such as Bryant Park. Students will pay a $10 fee in order to go on the trip. If you plan on attending, fill out the Google form or email isa@siena.edu. Spring has sprung, and to celebrate, the Siena College Garden Club is kicking off the plant growing season.
Students began the spring season in the newly built Noble Hall by planting tomato, parsley, dill, and basil plants to add to their garden. Students are expecting their plants to be fully grown by the end of the semester. The Siena College History Club is hosting a Historical Mysteries event.
3 officers from the club will talk about mysteries of history, covering the disappearances of historical documents and people such as Amelia Earhart. This event will be held on Friday at 7 in the Siena Hall 308. Students have the opportunity to pie a senator this Friday.
The Student Senate is hosting this event at Nigro Plaza. Students have the option to pie any of the 13 senators. Prices range from $1 to $4 depending on the toppings. All proceeds will be donated to the ARC, a nonprofit organization in Albany. Still to come, a local middle school teacher is facing charges. Find out what for.
Plus, we'll take a closer look at 2 local fires that have broken out in our area.
And here is a look at the closing numbers from Wall Street. All major indexes finish in the red, snapping a 3-day winning streak on Wall Street.
former local middle school teacher is currently facing weapon charges. Police arrested Akili Abdul Duncan in a connection to a 2021 incident where a gun was left at Crossgates Mall.
Duncan was a technology teacher at Farnsworth Middle School and is being charged with criminal possession of a weapon. Police say Duncan did not legally own a gun and was remanded to the Albany County Correctional Facility. This week, state police have arrested 4 separate people for possessing child pornography.
Michael Kabam Jin Jr. of Colony, Joshua Delgado of Troy, James Coffey of Schenectady, and Timothy LaPointe of Granville were all arrested on separate child pornography charges. All 4 were charged with a felony possession of a sexual performance by a child, among with other charges. We are following up on a story that we covered last year. Troy police have arrested 40-year-old Shatik J. Merritt. Police believe that he is responsible for the shooting at the El Dorado bar in September.
Merritt was arrested in New Jersey after it was found that he left the capital region after the incident. Merritt is being charged with attempted murder, assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. According to Times-Union, a man pled guilty to distribution of meth in Wyantskill.
45-year-old Justin Zimmer admitted to selling meth back in January. He's said to have had distributed more than 5 grams and he'll be sentenced to face in July. He faces up to 40 years in federal prison. According to the Times-Union, a Colony house fire has claimed the lives of 2 people.
The fire took place on Tanglewood Road earlier Wednesday morning. First responders arrived at the scene after receiving a call from a neighbor. An elderly woman and middle-aged man were rescued from the fire but died at the scene shortly after. The victims of the fire were a mother and son.
The Latham Fire Department responded to a fire at the Latham Village apartment complex, just 2 miles outside of Siena College.
We're told that there were heavy fire conditions in the middle of the building upon arrival. At least 12 apartments were affected, with 2 of them suffering significant fire damage and 10 with smoke or water damage. Fortunately, no one was injured or harmed.
When we come back, Ashley Bavis sits down with Musical Mayhem judge Father Larry Anderson and picks his brain about the upcoming contest.
Welcome back. Tomorrow's Musical Mayhem here at Siena. This event will allow students to compete for the chance to be this year's Siena Fest opener. Today I'm joined by one of the judges, Father Larry Anderson. Thank you so much, Father Larry, for being here. How are you tonight?
Good, very good.
How are you feeling about Musical Mayhem tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've never gone to, usually it's a big weekend for weddings, so I've never been here for Siena Fest.
Yeah, so.
And I've never seen the concert, so.
Yeah, so as a first-time judge, can you explain how you became one of the judges for Musical
Somehow
Mayhem?
someone got my name, I'm not sure. I got an email, and I was here tomorrow, it was free, so I said, sure, I'll do it.
Nice. So, like, what went through your head when you were asked to do this?
How did they get my name? But also, you know, just I'm happy to help out and have fun. And we have a lot of talent on campus. I see it through the chaplain's office with our musicians. It's interesting that music really isn't a major here, but we have a lot of people who are very good musicians throughout the years. So I'm looking forward to listening and seeing the talent. And my background, I was a DJ at a radio station before I became a friar up in Alaska. And I was a music director, I was a rock show host, and then a request show. So I love music. Everyone loves music.
Yeah.
So.
How have you been working to get the Siena community excited for this event?
Oh, I don't think I need to work to get people excited, right? I think Siena Fest, Musical Mayhem is always a big event. People are already happy about that. So
so as a judge and as someone with a background in music, what kind of talent and skills do you look for in those who are performing?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of different genres when it comes to music, so trying to appreciate the different, what people bring to the table and appreciate, just enjoy it. I mean, I'm not, obviously there's certain types of music that I appreciate more than others, but I'm just looking forward to it.
It's all about having a good time.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be a part of something that's so encouraging to these students' passions and talents?
Yeah, I'm glad I can be a part of it. I'm happy that they asked me, and I'm glad I'm available to do it, so I'm good.
Yeah. What do you think makes this event so unique from the other events that are happening at Siena?
I mean, we do have, I'm involved with Mr. Siena. I'm a judge on that, so that's kind of a talent show. This isn't a talent show, but it's a way of people to kind of put out their, what they're good at and just have fun with it.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great opportunity for the students and everyone involved. What have people's general reaction been since you told them about being a judge for Siena
I really
Fest?
haven't told many people other than the other friars, and they just look at me. So I don't know. Father Dennis, most everyone knows Father Dennis. Father Dennis has performed in Musical Mayhem, and he's been on stage. He's done it many, many years. So he's been here since the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So he's got a huge background with it.
Yeah, have you talked to him about Musical Mayhem?
A little bit in the past. And then we got a new guy, Brother Jimmy. He teaches in the physics department. He's very musical as well. He plays guitar, and he sings, actually. We did a karaoke night the other night at the Friars, and free hot dogs, free T-shirts. And I didn't get up there, but...
Franks and the Friars. So what kind of turnout are you expecting this year?
Oh, I think it'll be big. Yeah, from what I hear, the Musical Mayhem, a lot of people attend. And then, of course, Siena Fest.
Of course. Well, thank you so much, Father Larry. It was such an honor.
Thanks, Ashley.
If you want to watch this full interview after the show, you'll be able to find it on the Siena College Communications page YouTube channel. You can also find the interview on the SCTV Instagram page at sienacollege.tv. Make sure you follow and subscribe while you're there. Still to come, Siena Sports on SCTV. Aiden Burns and Kenzie Faraday take us to the dog pound.
Coming up in sports with the men's and women's basketball season's coming to an end, several players are entering the portal.
Plus, a major pickup for the Giants this week. Who will be under center for the G-Men this season? That's next.
Good evening, SCTV. I am Aiden Burns.
And I'm Kenzie Faraday. Here is your weekly sports report. With the NCAA basketball season starting to come to a close, the transfer portal has officially opened up. This means many members of teams will be looking for new schools, including Siena players. Siena players Major Freeman and Teresa Sapala officially announced that they've entered the portal. Siena guard Major Freeman, who was a star leader for the Saints, averaged 13 points per game in the 2024-25 season. Meanwhile, Teresa Sapala averaged 16 points per game and had 17 points in Siena's NIT loss. Other Siena players that announced they were transferring include Devin Bradford, Michael Ojo, and Allison O'Hanlon. In good news, Siena officially has a new basketball team member, Riley Mulvey. The Rotterdam native officially announced on Instagram that he is transferring to Siena for the upcoming season. Mulvey last played for Iowa.
The defending MAC champion Siena softball was ready to start their journey for another MAC championship yesterday. Siena had a tough start down 2-1, but came with power in the middle innings. Saints scored 4 runs in the 4th inning, including 2 from Lauren Melton's 2 RBI double. The Saints followed that up with a 3-run inning with a steal at home from Carlene Ventels. The Saints would take this game 8-4. The Saints would lose Game 2 8-4, but would take the split versus the Bobcats. The Saints will head to Iona to take on the Gales in a 3-game series this weekend.
The coach that has made national news thanks to his actions has finally broken silence. The longtime upstate New York basketball girls coach, Jim Zullo, was fired this past weekend due to what occurred after his team's loss. Zullo pulled one of his players' hair after she was upset over the team's loss on the campus of Hudson Valley. The former coach of Shen said in a statement that he is grateful for the opportunity to coach these girls and wishes that he could have these moments back.
The weather is getting warm outside in the capital region, and one sport that is on everyone's minds, and that sport would be baseball. We're just one day away. The Yankees and Mets are officially ready to make their season debut on opening day. The Yankees have added much star talent and will start the season versus the Milwaukee Brewers at home in the Bronx on national TV. Meanwhile, the Mets will head to Houston to take on the Houston Astros and will start on a 6-game road trip with new talent, including stars like Juan Soto. New talent for the Yankees included with Cody Bellinger. Both teams are hoping to build off last year after both made deep playoff runs.
From Pittsburgh to New York, the Giants signed a guaranteed $10.5 million deal with Russell Wilson yesterday. The 10-time Pro Bowl selected QB took the 1-year deal that can make him up to $21 million with incentives. He is currently QB1 for the Giants' upcoming 2025-26 season, but things could change with the number 3 draft pick for the team next month. That'll do it for us. I'm Kenzie Faraday.
And I'm Aiden Burns. Joey and Aaron, back to you.
Thanks, guys. Coming up, we're going to take a look at an unlikely duo. Stay tuned.
Beautiful.
Welcome back. Check out this kangaroo that went for a stroll in South Carolina.
JJ the kangaroo broke free from his pen this weekend, but somehow didn't hop the fence himself. He actually received help from Blue the goat. Blue was rescued from South Carolina Animal Shelter and knocked the gate open, which prompted JJ the kangaroo to escape and make his way to the highway. Thankfully, JJ the kangaroo was unharmed and returned to his pen safely. In today's Take a Look at This, an unlikely oceanic duo is taking the internet by storm.
Amazing newly released video shows a most unlikely traveling duo in New Zealand, an octopus riding on the back of a shark. The University of Auckland just released video on social media of the odd encounter, which was actually captured in late 2023 when a research team was monitoring feeding frenzies off New Zealand's northeastern coast. The team spotted a strange orange mass on a mako shark's head and sent in a pair of cameras for a closer look. That's when they realized the odd blob was a coiled octopus hitching a ride on the huge predator. The university nicknamed the peculiar pairing the Sharktopus and later called it one of the strangest things their scientists had ever seen. Speaking of weird and wild rides, that's what a goat on the go in Ohio took cops on when it got loose on a busy state road. Akron officers chased the stubborn silly billy as it bobbed and weaved and barely avoided oncoming traffic, but they did eventually catch up to it. As far as notable collars go, it might not be the goat, but it's still a goat, and that's something. Bad goats, what you gonna do, am I right? That's a sheep, you idiot! Alrighty then. Well, Gone in 60 Seconds would be a great nickname for this last video showing a weather balloon swiftly swept away during a National Weather Service team launch in wind-whipped New Mexico. More like Gone in 6 Seconds. I'm sure the team was prepared for this, but it still reminds me of the failed Rescue Falcon launch from The Simpsons.
I don't think he's coming back.
For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Rod.
I don't think I've ever seen a shark and a jellyfish that close together. I think jellyfish is probably one of my favorite aquatic animals.
Oh yeah, they're so cool.
What's your
so
favorite?
Majestic.
What's your favorite?
I would say it's one of my favorite. Besides sea turtles. I mean, could you go wrong with sea turtles?
I guess you can. I'm personally a big fan of orcas, even though they're one of the most dangerous animals in the world. And that will do it for SCTV Live at 7.
Follow us on Instagram at sienacollege.tv, or you can find us here at the Siena College Communications Program YouTube page.
Have a great night.